Good morning, everyone. My name's Joe. I'm the sales manager at Acklam Car Centre in Middlesbrough. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a Q&A session. We've had lots of customers ask us lots of questions. I can't go through all of them, but I think it's only fair that we do this and give you a little bit about the business and how we do things and give you a better understanding of how the day-to-day business works at Acklam Car Centre. Because we pride ourselves in what we sell. We sell prestigious cars like Rolls-Royces, Bentleys, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and then we have Mercedes, Range Rovers, Audis, and a whole range of cars. We do try to cater for everybody. However, over the years, Acklam Car Centre, we have built ourselves a nice little profile on selling just great cars. I won't just sell a car for the sake of selling a car. The car would need to be in the correct condition, service history, mileage, but most importantly for us is specification. And that's what we're all about here. So there is loads of questions. I'm going to try and answer as many as possible. So we're going to start off with the first one, which is live pricing. We're always talking about live pricing on our advertising on many platforms, including our live videos that we do when we're advertising the cars. Live pricing is a strategy that we've chosen because we believe this is a fair way to price the cars, most accurate way to price a car, spec-related, mileage, service history, and most importantly, condition. By pricing the cars with live pricing, it does fluctuate. The prices one day will go down and the next day it'll go back up again, just depending on supply and demand. So if I may use Auto Trader as an example, if there's 20 of a Range Rover Sport available at 59,990, and the very next day that 20 becomes 10 because 10 have sold overnight, naturally because there's less available, the price will go up. Vice versa, if more become available, the price will go down. Now, the fortunate thing at Acklam Car Centre is our stock turn is incredibly high. So no car really tends to hang around for more than a couple of days. So we do very well and we don't have much effect with the live pricing other than the fact that at the start of the advertising, it's priced absolutely fair. And that takes me on to we don't discount cars. Because I find that when you're discounting cars, that's because there's a reason to discount the car. It's damaged, the service history is not quite correct, hasn't got 2 keys, isn't in the right spec. So when we price the cars, we price to sell them cars. It's sometimes what I call robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's almost pointless pricing the car at £2,000 more than what it's really worth, just to take the inquiry from yourself and then find a reason to discount it afterwards. It's not fair because some customers won't ask for discount. So we try to give everyone the same fair treatment by pricing it accurately first time round, called live pricing. The second question we have was, where do you source your cars from? Question mark. Is it BCA? Question mark. So for all the guys and girls that don't know, BCA stands for British Car Auctions. We don't buy any cars from British Car Auctions because we believe at Acklam Car Centre, over years and years of experience, that the auction cars don't really do what we want it to do. We don't know the cars, we don't know the ownership, we don't know how it's been looked after. It's just not something that we're all about. So when we're sourcing cars through 15, 20 years of experience, building some great relationships up and down the country with main dealers, private individuals, high net worth people, people that enjoy cars, that look after them, that buy them brand new, spec them up to a very high standard, and then we're very fortunate to be able to get them cars and sell them. Now, when we are buying cars, I won't just buy anything. The group buyer won't just buy any random car just to make a quick profit. Because naturally, yes, we are a business and profit's not a dirty word, but I want the car to be correct in every single way before we even decide to buy that particular car. Where we are very fortunate is when we are selling Rolls-Royces, Bentleys, Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Range Rovers for £50,000 or £150,000, we do tend to get some very nice part exchanges in return. And they're the cars that we resell again to the next customer and so on. So when you're selling nice cars, you get nice cars in return, because most of the time when somebody buys a car like this or a new Range Rover or a new Mercedes, they have got a car currently that they're looking to part exchange. That also allows me to be super generous and give them slightly more for their car in part exchange as a valuation if they've got a particularly nice car with all the bells and whistles on it. So if you have been following us and you watch our videos, you'll see that we always talk about specification. Because when you're buying cars at our level, at this sort of stock, you're not just buying a car, you're buying a lifestyle. It's fashion, it's design, it's comfort, it's wow factor, panache. There's so many words I could use. Nobody comes to Acklam Car Centre and goes, right, I just want that Range Rover. They come to us because they want that particular car. They want the 22-inch wheels, they want that bespoke interior, the black styling pack, whatever it might be on that particular car, and that's why we do well. We source the cars correctly. I will not buy random cars that I don't know anything about. Our due diligence team who do all the checks are very, very careful as well. So every car that we do buy has to be 100%. Next question is, can I drive the car away on the same day if I come to test drive it? The long and short of it, yes, you can, because we are pre-prepping our cars where possible. We are super busy. Sometimes if you can't take the car the same day, it's not because we don't want to give you it. It might be just because the car is awaiting preparation. That's the first part. The second and most important reason why you can't take the car the same day, I would say a big portion of our clients do tend to take finance out, which is not a good or bad thing. It's just that's how people choose to fund for the cars. If you're taking finance, then that sometimes takes a little bit of time. The finance application, the approval, and then signing documents. Most importantly, as a business, we would want cleared funds, so the finance company has to pay us, which then means you can come and collect the car. Normally, you're talking about 48 hours from start to finish, from initially putting a deposit down of reserving the vehicle to collecting it. Around 48 hours would be the completion time. But again, we would look at every single deal based on its own merit and how the structure of the deal works. Next question. Can I still get finance if I have bad credit? The answer is yes, you can, because there is different finance providers out there that will cater for different clients depending on your credit profile, how good or how bad. If I'm going to give you a blanket answer, at Acklam Car Centre, we don't tend to have many what I would call subprime lenders on board because we haven't had the need for that. However, if you are a customer who has had some difficulties with credit and finances and it has sort of tarnished your credit file, we will certainly look at everything and do everything in our powers correctly to get you approved. Sometimes that can be a slightly longer process than your prime lenders, because with a subprime lender, where if you have got a slightly faulty credit file from previous years or still currently, they may want some extra proofs of income or some extra proofs of ID. They do want a bit more just to do some double checks and further checks on yourself. But the answer is yes, there's always someone that would look to give you finance, but the rates would change again, credit related. But the answer is yes, there is someone out there that would certainly look at you. There's always someone ready to give you a chance. Another quick question. What is the most expensive car you have sold? In Acklam Car Centre, £302,000 is a Rolls-Royce Ghost. It's the most expensive car we've sold here. We have sold lots in that same area, around the 290s, 288s, 295s, but around the £300,000 is the most expensive cars we've sold. Next question is, would you ever sell a Bugatti Veyron? It's not that we won't sell a Bugatti Veyron. Being completely honest with you, yes, we sell prestigious cars. Yes, we sell lots of cars. We sell around 50 cars a week. We are very busy for a prestigious car garage. Most garages who sell volume type of cars, no offense to anybody, but what I would call the slightly cheaper cars, sort of £5,000 to £10,000 cars, sometimes they're not selling 40 and 50 cars per week. So the fact that we're selling volume out of cars at a certain standard, at a certain price, it's a full-on business that takes a lot of time and effort behind the scenes. So why wouldn't I sell the Bugatti Veyron? It's not that I don't want to sell it, it's just you have to see what is good for the business. If I ever get offered one, we will buy anything that we think fits the stock profile. If I get offered a Bugatti Veyron once and if I can sell it, then great, I'd love to do that. I think just the experience on its own would be nice. So the answer is yes, I would sell a Bugatti Veyron, no problem. If somebody wants to offer me one, give me a shout. I'll give you the best price possible. How straightforward is it buying a car online? And you know what, if you asked me this question 2 years ago, I'd probably wouldn't answer it in this manner. But certainly because of the pandemic and COVID-19 and the way we do business now, it is super simple. You are protected as a consumer. As a business, we've put all the procedures in place, and your biggest protection is other customers' experience. If you go on all the different platforms like Trustpilot, AutoTrader, and Yelp and Google, you'll see thousands of positive reviews. We have 5-star reviews in the thousands from great clients up and down the country. And that almost gives you the peace of mind that you're buying from a reputable dealer, but also that the process is straightforward to the point because other people have put on there how it started, how we went through it, and how it completed. So if I've dealt with 3,000 people in the last 1 year in this same manner and given them the same product in a certain way, I'd only deal with you the same way as well. But the straightforward going back to how straightforward it is, on our website, you have the vehicle details, you have the finance calculator, you have the part exchange valuation box where you put your registration number in and it gives you the figures. So it does 95% for you. You can also reserve the car and pay for it on full online as well. So we do almost everything online. It's so simple. I do believe still in Acklam Car Centre, if you're looking at a £20,000 Mercedes or a £300,000 Rolls Royce, if you're spending any amount of money, it's just nice to have a real life conversation at some point with one of the executives, myself, Liam, the director, and just finalise the deal. Ask any more questions that you might have that we might have missed on our platforms. And that's a nice little touch, because otherwise you're buying such an expensive product, you think you have all the answers. But if I was buying a £100,000 SVR, I'd probably want to know what the exact colour is, what the extras and the carbon fibres are, when was the last service done, because some of that information won't be on the advertising page. But to actually buy the car, it's so simple. If you did go through the full process on our website and you reserved it, you would then get a call from me or one of the guys here anyway, just to complete the purchase and give you a collection date and answer any questions that you may have at that point. But it is super simple. On our website, it's all been laid out so it's customer friendly, easy to use, easy on the eye, and it's plain and simple really. And that's a good thing, because there is lots of websites out there that I've seen that you try to navigate through it and you get frustrated. I've done it before when I've booked holidays or hotels or restaurants, and you're trying to get through to the next page or look at what that's doing, and you sometimes click off it. So we've spent a lot of money, time and effort in almost mastering our website, so it is user friendly and mobile phone app friendly as well. Next question. Do I have to keep my car 48 months on a PCP? The answer is no. The 48 months PCP is just the term that you've chosen at the start of the agreement. At the end of the 48-month term, you have the three options. Option 1, Option 2, Option 3, hand it back, buy it, or upgrade or downgrade. But at any point in that agreement, you can look to change. You can't look to settle, no problem at all, you can. It's just a case of, is it the right time? If you change too early, these are all just rule of thumb, because no two cars are the same and nobody knows how the market's going to go. So on a 4-year PCP, rule of thumb is somewhere around half term. On a given car, you might or you should break somewhere around even, depending on the deposit you put in initially. So you can change any time you want, no problem at all. If you change too early and you didn't put a deposit down initially, the answer is you might find yourself in a negative equity position. So that's the bit you have to be careful with sometimes. 4-year PCP, no problem. Yes, you can change whenever you want. If you did go to the full term, as in end of the 4 years, then I'd say 8 out of 10 times, financially, you shouldn't be in a negative equity position. You should be in a decent position. As a worst case scenario, one of the options is to hand the car back and walk away from it, so you'd have no negative equity and no car, you just start fresh again. But the answer to your question is yes, you can change. You don't need to keep it the full 48 months. How soon can I change my car and settling an early agreement? I think I just answered that in another way. You can settle any time you want, and by settling early in most agreements, which are regulated finance agreements, you would get a rebate of interest. So again, that does work in your favour if you haven't gone the full term and you do settle early. You can make lump sum payments as well, just so you know. And the next one we have here is, will you buy my car if it's currently on finance? Yes, we would. So if you're looking to sell your car to me, or if you're looking to part exchange your car and your car has finance on it, I'm going to use round figures just for what it's worth. Let's say your car is worth £28,000, the value of your car. After inspecting it, going through the specification, service history, etc., it's worth £28,000. And let's say that your outstanding finance is, for round figures, is £30,000. So that means that your car is worth £2,000 less than what your outstanding finance amount is. I would still buy this car, and you would need to give me the £2,000 difference, and we would settle the car before you walk out the showroom. So I would buy a car from you, I would settle the finance, and you would give me the difference. If it's vice versa, where your car is valued at £32,000 because it's beautiful, and you owe £30,000, then I would settle the finance whilst you're here again, and I would give you the £2,000 that I owe you. So that's dead simple. You can sell cars if it's on finance, as long as the finance gets settled. So So that's no problem at all. Can I part exchange my car and will it bring my monthly payments down? Well, that's a bit of an open question. The answer is yes, you can part exchange a car, obviously, but will it bring your payments down? That will all just depend on the car that you're buying and what car you're driving now. So again, just to give you a rough idea, if you're currently driving a C-Class diesel paying £350 a month and you want to bring your payments down genuinely by £100, so from £350 to £250, there's a couple of elements. The first one is, what is your current car worth and what's a settlement? If your current car is worth £20,000 and your settlement is £20,000, perfect. It's what you call you break even. So that's the part exchange. You don't owe anything extra on it and you haven't got any positive equity. It's just it breaks even. To now downgrade your payments, it just means you need to find a car from here or somewhere else at a slightly lower value, which will give you the payments that you're trying to achieve, the £250. So the answer is yes, you can change your car and you can downgrade, because it does happen when a customer is buying a car, because nobody knows what's going to happen a year down the road or 2 years down the road. Them payments that were affordable 2 years ago just quite aren't at the minute. So if you were wanting to downgrade, get in touch with one of the sales guys here or at a local dealership to yourself, and then tell them what you've got, get a settlement figure, tell them what you were trying to do, that you want to bring your payments down, and they'll either offer you some cars that fit that budget, or you tell them your requirements, 4-door, 2-door, automatic, petrol, manual, etc. And that can be done, no problem. Does your cars come with warranties? The next question that we have. Now, the answer is yes again, but there's a bit more to it. Most of my cars are 3 years old or newer, as in they're not very old. So if the car's within its manufacturer's warranty, then you naturally get the remainder of the manufacturer's warranty. So as an example, if the car's a 2020 registered vehicle, so a 20 reg Range Rover, and the car is now currently just over a year old, you still have about 18 months Land Rover warranty left with that car. If the car that you're looking at with us today is more than 3 years old, so let's say it's 4 years old as it stands, the car hasn't got any manufacturer's warranty, we would then offer you a 12-month warranty package, which is parts, labour and VAT all inclusive, and you can use this warranty package at a local dealership to yourself, a specialist garage. We don't expect every customer to come all the way back to Middlesbrough to get the cars repaired. So when you're spending a lot of money, firstly, you don't want any problems. But cars are mechanically propelled vehicles. There's components in there that might let you down. It's not because we've sold you a bad car, it's not because you've driven it in an incorrect manner. It's just cars sometimes do fail. But the best part with us at Acklam Car Centre, and again just to reflect onto our 5-star reviews, is when we sell you a car, that's the easy part, because we believe our cars sell themselves. It's the bit after that Acklam Car Centre genuinely do slightly different to most retailers out there. We take pride on the after-sales service. So when something does go wrong, we ask you very kindly to get in touch with us, irrelevant of where you live. You could live in Scotland or London, and we're in Middlesbrough. You'd get in touch with us, Claire, our service manager, would very kindly take hold of the issue and then sort everything out from that side. So again, we try to take away a lot of hassle away from you, because half of the time it's just frustration. Is trying to locate a dealership local to yourself, trying to get booked in and get sorted. But because we do this day in, day out for lots of clients, that's something that we're happy to take on board and take that little bit of stress away from you. The 12-month warranty package is available on all our used cars that's more than 3 years old. Depending on the product, sometimes there might be a variance in the package, but again, you would speak to one of the guys here and we would give you all the breakdown of that for you. What is the difference between HP and PCP? Now, I know the exact terminology and I know all the answers, as in the answers for that. My best way to explain to you, in my opinion, what HP and PCP works and what the differences are. Hire purchase is an agreement where you borrow an amount, for round figures, £40,000. You pick your term, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You make your contractual monthly payments of X amount. At the end, the car is yours. At any stage, you can settle, you can make overpayments, and you can change a car, no problem. If you did settle early, change early, make overpayments, you do get a rebate of interest, so you do win. But hire purchase means you borrow £40,000, you make your payments, at the end, the car's yours, nothing else to pay, that's it. Like a bank loan called hire purchase for the car. PCP, personal contract purchase. I would say a big portion of our customers take PCP. There is no right and there is no wrong. It's just a case of preference. what you prefer. PCP is designed so you can drive that same £40,000 vehicle at a slightly lower monthly payment. At the end of the agreement, you have a guaranteed future value, also known as the optional final payment. You would normally stipulate what mileage per year you would be doing. So by doing so, the finance company can generate a guaranteed future value at the end. The guaranteed future value is an algorithm that the finance company use from years and years of experience and historically what that car should be worth at the end. Sometimes I believe that the guaranteed future value is slightly less than market value to protect the finance companies. So if you were to hand the car back, they could hand that car to the auction house, get their money back, and it'll cover all costs and fees. So I normally find that at the end of the PCP, if you have gone full term, that your car should normally be worth a little bit more than the balloon figure, and for that reason you would not normally hand the car back. But the benefit of the PCP of having the lower payment each month for potentially for the next 4 years to drive about in such a smart car, for a lot of customers, they find that more comfortable because it's a lower comfortable payment. Thank you guys for watching. That'll be all the questions for today. We will do another part later on another day, but hopefully you've enjoyed all that. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now.